thank you everyone for joining us. Before we get started, I'm always curious about who's in the audience and what your experiences is as well. Just to help us understand a little bit about who you are, what I'd like you to do is put your hands up, and this is just a little bit of exercise for you guys as well, is who works in HR at the moment? Okay, so you all...
Everyone.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Keep your hand up if you work in talent acquisition. Okay. What about if you work, you can put your hand down for a second. Put your hand up if you work in talent management or internal mobility. Okay, so maybe that's an even split. Do some of you do both? Maybe that's another question. Okay. On a selfish note, I've got another question for you. Who's been involved in performance skills proficiencies and skills levels? Anybody? Yeah. I want to talk to you later. Because in my role at Fosway, I get in a very privileged position of sitting on the fence, of talking to amazing providers, but also amazing practitioners, and trying to work out what works. And we've had some inquiries from a large organization saying, what works with proficiencies and levels? So I will try and find you, or you can find me. I'd love to have a conversation over a cup of tea. But before I waste all of our time, and I was trying to see if I could see the clock, what I'd like to do is just take a moment to introduce our amazing panelists. It's always a pleasure for me to work with amazing professionals, and these guys are really rocking it, right? Now, the title of this session was all around your talent intelligence foundation, a practical guide to getting started. And what's interesting to me is when we had the conversation warming up for this to find out a little about you, we asked the question of, did you start with talent intelligence? And you both looked at me as though, are you crazy? Are you mad? Why would I start there? And I think it mirrors some of the things that have been said earlier on today about grounding this whole initiative that you're doing, not in the pursuit of talent intelligence, that's an enabler, but in real business results and real outcomes. And I think that was almost it's one of those obvious but blindingly amazing statements of go for the problems or the opportunities, don't focus on the enabler. The enabler will enable at some point. So that has been probably one of the key things that I've taken away. So if you hear us talking about in the next few moments around the questions, if you think they haven't answered the question around talent intelligence foundation, practical guide, actually be going straight into the real answer of why talent intelligence matters, how you execute it, because it's not about the functionality, it's about the outcomes. So without further ado, and while we wait for other people to dribble in, what I'd like you to do is maybe Simona, you could talk a little about who you are, your role, and about Mars as well.
Sure, David. So I'm from Mars, like the company.
Okay, not the planet. That'd be quite a journey.
For those of you who do not know about Mars, it's a family-owned company, roughly 50 billion revenue and more than 150,000 associates. Employed in various businesses, and I'm working in the pet nutrition division, and I am on HR, but we don't call it HR, we call it P&O, meaning people and organization, and I'm the VP for Pet Nutrition Europe.
So there is life on Mars.
Yes.
For those who get the connection. Maite, in terms of Keyring, that may be not a name that people recognize. So could you tell us a little bit about you and Keyring and...
Yes, so I lead talent acquisition and talent management at Keyring. Keyring is one of the leading luxury groups worldwide. Maybe you know better the brands that are within the group, such as Gucci, Bottega Veneta, and many other beautiful brands. So we are present in over 46 countries. And we are 46,000 employees, a bit smaller than Mars.
So the foundation for talent intelligence, which is the side project, why are you doing what you're doing? What challenges are you facing as organizations that made you think maybe talent intelligence fits into that answer or what you're doing? So again, Simona, what challenges and opportunities are you facing?
Okay. Maybe I will start with an opportunity. Mars, it's well known for its culture, oriented on development, for the human-centric environment, the associate concept and 5 principles, and a development culture. It's part of our DNA. So it's only natural to invest in the new solutions, AI-powered talent marketplace, which would enable that. Then more specifically in the part of the business I work with, we have changed the operating model in Europe recently, and my business was present in 4 markets and now in 40 plus, with an intense presence in 20 markets. So automatically there is a need to connect people better across functions, geographies, and so on. And probably it's the same challenge which everybody has. It's not only a Mars challenge, that LinkedIn knows more about our own people than we do. It's the reality of nowadays systems. So we very often label people through the work they are doing right now or their job title, and very often we have hidden skills. We have hidden gems in the organization. So I think that's not Mars specific, but really a problem we are all trying to address.
So very much a scaling up challenge.
Very much scaling up, and then also a need to enable non-linear careers. We all want to build breadth and so on, but sometimes it's really difficult, and more line managers prefer to hire based on expertise and to have the guarantee that someone knows they have expertise and so on. So by implementing a talent marketplace, then you really enable a development path through the gigs or the skills-based mentoring. And also, I really love the part with Career Navigator and guiding people on their next steps.
So really that sense of we don't have enough talent, or we've got a lot of talent, we don't know where it is.
We don't know where it is.
We need to grow.
We don't know where it is. And then from the talent perspective, at Mars, as HR, we were always reluctant to build a very defined career path for a function and to prescribe the way. And we really promote the world of opportunities and how you can grow your career. But that doesn't meet the needs of associates. They need a bit more, and they need a bit more guidance into what they can do next, what does it take, and how they can grow their careers.
Before I come to you, Mete, what I'd like to do is just ask everybody. So is it a shared problem for you guys in terms of this sense of LinkedIn knows more about my people than I do? Again, we need to see those hands. You can shake them if you like, help keep you awake. Not you need that, but that's cool. Interesting. And now I want to look at the people who haven't put their hands up to know what you're doing, but we haven't got time. So, Mete, with you, what business challenges are Kering facing across Balenciaga and Gucci and all those amazing brands?
Similar to Simona, but concretely in our case, we had 2 different challenges. On the one hand, when it comes to talent acquisition, the luxury industry is very much based on relations and emotions, and the level of service that you provide to a customer in the store needs to be really the best. And we really pride to give this experience also to our candidates, external and internal. And we realized we were not able to provide this kind of experience to our candidates, namely because also our recruiters were overwhelmed with lots of manual tasks. So that's the number 1 pain point, is we really want to provide the best-in-class candidate experience, but our recruiters were not capable of doing it. So that's the first problem we identified. The second pain point we identified, it's, the luxury industry is also very retail-driven. And retail is, inherently, has really high turnover. So people actually were happy wherever they, when they enter one of our runs, and they were working in our, we call them houses. But they did not see enough opportunities to grow within the company because there was not this transparency and projection regarding career opportunities. So at some point, they would not see projection and they would leave. So we saw a lot of turnover, which was linked to lack of career opportunities. And that's where we tried to bridge both problems to find a solution that could actually answer to both of them. And that's when we met Eightfold.
And is that a combination both of the customer-facing roles as well as the back office?
Yeah.
Do you see the traction in both sides of the business?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we try to have the same level of demand when it comes to treating any employee, like frontline or back office or support. It's really important that we answer to both. So.
Because it's interesting, isn't it? I think quite often we see these solutions as being quite back office focused. If you've got a screen, then it's easier to get enabled. But I guess also in Mars, you have your manufacturing on the floor people who you're trying to reach as well. So there is a really complex audience. How have they responded to what you started to put in place?
We targeted the initial stage of the project, not for the entire organization. So manufacturing line operators are excluded for the moment, but probably we will get to that point. Yeah. So, yeah.
So starting where the success is tangible, and then go to the more challenging audiences next. Sounds like a good plan. So in terms of what you've done, so you've got these challenges of talent acquisition, the career moves. What have you put in place? What have you implemented and brought to life in your organisations to solve those problems? You mentioned a little bit about the internal mobility, Simona. What's really gone live for you?
So as I mentioned, we are rather fresh in the journey. We started last year the implementation in pet nutrition. So we piloted initially with one market, with UK, and marketing as a function. And very recently we launched it now across all markets in Europe. And we are aiming to have like 2,000 people enrolled. And we had quite a quick win because in the first week of launch we enrolled about 25% of this population. So we are on track to get to the 50% we are aiming for. And the modules which are most beneficial for us are in terms of the career navigator. As I mentioned, we promote the world of opportunities and we don't have prescribed career paths. So then what are they going to do? And I really like the fact that we implemented it, plugged into Workday and into the current job architecture and competencies and Mars University. So with the AI-powered solutions, now you can get relevant advice. When our internal team came with the implementation plan, I was a bit reluctant and I was concerned. People will say we don't have time to create profiles in another tool, so I tried it on my own. It took less than 5 minutes to create a profile out of LinkedIn, but since I have my profile updated in Workday, within other 5 minutes, I got a career path, which was quite relevant. So I thought maybe it's only for the entry levels, but it proves to be relevant for everyone. And yeah, it's...
So it's worked from the off-go?
Yeah, it works for many. It works for many levels. So first of all, the career guidance and the career navigator. Yeah. Then another functionality we really like, it's the gigs and the development projects. And we already have some success stories, even if it's less than a year, that we are experimenting with the platform. And we tried to sell it, as I said, not as talent intelligence, but we talk to line managers in terms of a way to retain their people, to do the crowdsourcing for their projects, or in terms of people, we sell an enhanced development opportunity. And maybe to make it more specific, one of my favorite stories comes from a marketing leader who experimented with the gigs, and he posted a rather strategic project, and he started with a selfish approach, like, okay, I need more resources, I will need more people to do this, but very soon afterwards he turned into a promoter, seeing the value in enhancing people's careers, because one of the people who applied for that project was an admin entry-level role in another function, but it turned out she had an MBA. Nobody knew about her, and that she's working probably 2 levels below. And she did an amazing job in the project, and several months afterwards, fast forward, she got promoted to level up in another function. So I dream of having this a scale and unlocking the hidden gems across the organization, and see more and more stories like
just
that.
really driving that visibility, both of the opportunities, but also the individuals, and taking maybe the clouds away, putting the...
Let alone that we change culture. Many of you probably work in big corporations, and we have such a bureaucracy and approvals after approvals. When we were launching the concept, one of the most common questions from leaders was, who will approve the gig and the development project I will post? Well, how many levels of approval? Who will need to approve it? So no one, you just go and do it. So you change mindsets as well.
Cool. Yeah. And Mete, for you, in terms of what you've introduced to Kering?
Quite similar.
Yeah.
So we started what we call a pilot, which is a little bit less than 3,000 people across the globe, with both talent acquisition and talent management. Quite a challenge. And similar to Simona, the first thing we wanted to tackle is to make it really tangible, really down to earth and concrete for business people. So we really tried to get away as much as possible from HR jargon, because, I mean, as soon as we would start speaking about skills and really abstract things, we would lose people from business. So really build a case, and we tried to really make it really tangible. So we went through the user experience really thoroughly, and like changed some of the names. For example, instead of calling it job marketplace, we would call it find your next job. Direct, straightforward, nice. Like you would know what to find, right? We called the platform, we call it Talent Match. Sometimes informally, when I'm not recorded, I say it's the Tinder for talents, and that
amazing.
I know they will remember. You know, it's just really match people's aspirations and skills into opportunities, and then they will remember that. Then I can just, I get their attention, and then I can give them, the real inputs. So we really worked on making it really like crisp, sharp, and down to earth, without the HR, tarte à la crème, like they say in France, you know, so that it can really speak to people on their day-to-day basis. The second thing we really try to clarify is we want people to understand that this is going to facilitate their day-to-day jobs. It's going to make their task lighter, so we worked really on automation. And the third pillar we were really working hard is on data. Because Kering is all about creativity, and we did have lots of different business titles and lots of information we really need to streamline, so that then whenever people would go to career paths, that we call, instead of the career navigator, they could actually have some results that are relevant to them.
And I suppose what strikes me is, in terms of where this goes and the challenges that you faced on that journey, what were the obstacles, what were the difficult things that you had to try and navigate as you were rolling things out for your 3,000 in your initial audience? And maybe, Mete, if we can come back to you, what are the biggest obstacles that you really faced in trying to get this?
So number one is, of course, building the business case and make it really relevant. So it was not the biggest challenge. I have to say, we quite quickly got the sponsorship from Comex. So that was the first one, not the hardest one. The second one was building and trying to make this cultural change. And I would say we're still working on it, but it's going on the right direction. So some managers really show resistance because they like to be a bit territorial regarding their teams, and then having so much transparency and empowerment to employees, they would actually fear that they will lose their best assets.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we would explain them that they could actually have access to all these passive candidates within the organization. So you can actually end up having somebody even better than the person that you are actually promoting. So we were really building these kind of use cases, very concrete, very real, so that we could really work on that resistance. And the third one is we do have 11 very fiercely autonomous houses, brands, we call them houses. Yeah. And sometimes they would work on silos when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to internal mobility. So really working into building bridges between those silos was another obstacle that we had to work on. But so far, they've really seen the benefit of all of us working together and creating synergies.
Yeah. So as you start to introduce greater visibility, then people's objections start to fall away. And Simona, for you, when you started to roll out, what sort of challenges did you face?
First of all, many are common, and I will learn from you, so we will take the advertising campaign to the next level with the Tinder for talent, because that's about it. It's about the matching opportunities. And another challenge is related to the fact that people feel overwhelmed, and they would be reluctant to one more tool and so on. So the idea is, how do you position it based on their needs and the needs of the various stakeholders? So position it for line managers in one way, and what's in it for them and what's in it for me, for the associates as well. So when we launched the talent marketplace, we didn't even call it a talent solution or talent marketplace, but we have built on two previous strategies. One, it's part of the overall human capable connected kind of HR strategy, where I have a big pillar oriented on talent development, and more precisely with the concept of creating opportunities for everyone to reach their full potential versus the selected few. And that's a mentality we are trying to promote lately. And then, like many of you, probably we also have a digital-first upskilling strategy. And since it's an AI-powered solution, we came up with a brand for the launch, which was called AI and You. And it was all around opportunities for everyone to develop, and also starting to experiment more with the power of AI and get comfortable actually to use AI and to enhance the other type of projects. Yeah.
So you're both still smiling after going through the implementation and the initial successes that you had. What do you see as some of your next steps? Where are you going to take this next? Whether that's keeping what you're doing running smoothly or bursting into the next, taking that next reach. What do you see?
Okay, so we're gradually scaling up. So we almost have 3,000 people on board now. End of this year, we're expecting to have many thousands more. We're also completing the talent acquisition module and adding the personalized career site and really offering a better service to candidates, to external candidates. So that's where we are.
Simona, for you, where do you see?
On a very short term, it's to continue with the change management and increase adoption, and really short term to see people using it as an enabler in their mid-year development conversations, career conversations, and increase the level of either career options or development plans, and continue with the development gigs and so on. But then on a longer term, I'm dreaming of scaling it up across all Mars businesses and then really unlock the potential of many people and many roles, and be an enabler actually of the talent ecosystem.
We've got 3 minutes left, and I didn't want to go ahead. I've got some more questions, but there's an opportunity for you to ask questions, these amazing ladies as well. So have we got a microphone in the room somewhere? Fantastic. I know your arms work because we got you to put your hands up earlier. So if you have some questions, please put your hand up and feel free to throw them in if there's some things you wanted to know more about. I've got more questions and I can keep firing them away, but it's your opportunity, right, to add something in. So don't be shy. There must be one hand. Oh, thank you so much.
Hello. I have a question about, like nowadays, a lot of companies want to leverage AI and motivate employees to also use AI tools. And there is a fear from the employees' side that they will be replaced by AI. Do you have the same fear within your workforce? And if you do, how do you handle that?
That's a wicked question.
I can answer. So far, we anticipated more fears from employees and managers than they really show. So we were afraid that they would be like, oh, so this is going to be the new HR, this is going to be, replacing half of the teams, etc. But then when we actually had really good adoption results, over 83%. And this is because we just went very pragmatic. So as soon as people actually went into the tool, number one, they can accept to use it or not. So we leave it up to them, so they're free to use it. And then when they see that it's actually like, serving them, because we really position it as a service to employees to elevate, career conversations with their manager, with their HR, then they really see the benefit and forget about those potential fears that we were anticipating. This is our experience. I don't know about you, Simona.
Similar, and particularly in the case of talent marketplace, they can see only benefits, and it's pretty amazing actually to be able to navigate in a complex system like Mars and to be able to see your path forward or to access opportunities you would not know about otherwise in terms of projects, particularly that we are a networked and relationship-oriented company, and then it's all limited to whom do you know, who will put your name forward for a strategic project. So it's not scary at all, but in the various town halls, usually you would hear concerns, and anytime I'm doing a market visit and so on, one of the questions would be, what's our positioning, how AI will change our jobs, and so on. So the answer I'm giving, it's because it's a personal belief, it will not eliminate jobs, but it will change the way we work. So let's get ready for new and more efficient ways of working. And yeah, we have another, as I said, digital upskilling plan in place to get organization ready to experiment. And personally, I think I will experiment with, how is it called, twin?
Digital twin.
Digital twin. I'm a single child and I'm very curious as well. So I think I will want to have a digital twin. I'm going to buy one right now at the break.
Yeah. I'm a youngest child, so I get very competitive if there's somebody else around. So if I have a digital twin, I've got to beat them. It's it's not going to be a happy marriage. I like digital companion. That was one of the things that came out earlier. I'm not sure if we said that earlier. I did like that. If you've got any other questions, you'll have to save them for later. Oh, are we allowed one more question? I've got the sign of it's ended. We've got zeros on here. If you bring your question, I know these amazing professionals will give you an answer. There is some chance to mingle and find out answers. But in preparing for this session, we got a chance to meet virtually, and it's always inspiring for me to talk and learn from some people who are really pushing the boundaries of what it means for the people experienced in their organization. And I think what I take away around this whole journey of talent intelligence is focusing on the employee, focusing on the business. Transform the business, transform the employee is really where you start. If you've got a strong answer for that, then everything else will flow, and you will solve the problems of talent intelligence as you go. It's the enabler, and it's enabled you guys to do some amazing things. So thank you. And if you
David.
please show your
Thank you.
appreciation.